We're going to bring it back around to the football discussion as we welcome into the bunker Canadian Football Hall of Famer Nik Lewis to talk about NFL things, CFL things, all the rest. How you doing, Nick?
I'm good. I just feel like it's an empty room now because I feel like when you go to somebody's house and they're not home and then you sit down and make a sandwich and start watching TV. How's it going for you?
Make yourself at home. Make yourself at home. And if I can get you down here, I know you're a Texas guy, but you got to love yourself some South Florida. Who doesn't? But Nick,
I know it.
Listen, I got to think I'm not the first person to ask you this. You're going into the Canadian Football Hall of Fame in the second week of December. Do you have your speech written yet?
No, not at all. I think that I'm not much of a speech writer. I'll probably just have topics and then just go off the brain. It's going to be a hard one for me, Rod, because this is all my mother ever wanted, right? And for me to lose my mother at the beginning of this year, it was really hard because every time I think of the Hall of Fame, I think of my mother because this was more her dream than mine, right? I didn't ever think I was going to go play professional football, nonetheless make the Hall of Fame. And now, this is a testament of everybody's sacrifice that I was around. So it's good, but that's going to be a hard day for me.
Yeah, I know, but you also know she will be watching. And You know how proud she is of you. Yeah, exactly. So I can't wait. I cannot wait. I will be there live in the back of the room rooting you on, man. And there's a lot of guys out there that aspire to be in the Canadian Football Hall of Fame. It's not easy to do. I'm looking tonight. Edmonton and Ottawa. A lot of players out there that would love to have the career that you have. Edmonton favored by 6.5 in the game at TD Place Stadium tonight. Just 6 days ago that Ottawa played. What's your take on the game tonight?
Man, I always think that the CFL's got to do a better job of teams coming off bye weeks, right? When you come off a bye week, you shouldn't play a team on a short week. It's not because the unfair competitiveness. It's just for injuries and everything else. When one team is moving really fresh and the other team's coming off a game that didn't even have a week to recover, it just puts people in a bad situation because now you're straining and doing those things. But, I think the spread should be a little bit wider. Ottawa hadn't showed anything, and they're on, quarterback number 4? So we'll see what happens there.
You're putting receiver Nate Bahar in as quarterback number 3?
Yes.
Have I read you right? Yeah, exactly. Caleb Evans gets the ball tonight. And by the way, is it Taylor Cornelius, the quarterback for Edmonton, who was unable to rally them to a victory in his first game against Winnipeg? This also can't be what the CFL wants. What's the buzz, man? Not only are you in the Hall of Fame as a player, but you coached in the league for long enough. What's the buzz about these injuries? Are they related to this compacted schedule, health and safety things? Like, what's the take out there? What are the guys saying?
Most of the players that play now in the CFL didn't play last year. And a lot of it is just getting back into taking those hits. As you get older, it takes you a lot longer for your body to recover. So we know the CFL has a great stable of veteran players. So now it's just taking that to the next level. But at the same time, how hard is it to find a lot of great O-linemen? And then how great are these defensive ends and these D tackles now and how athletic they are when you look at Ja'Garrett Davis and Charleston and Sean Lemon still doing it and all these other guys, and Edmonton's got 2 young Canadians doing it, right? So when you look at that aspect, they're getting to the quarterback really quickly, and that's always going to be a main issue of concern on quarterbacks staying healthy is when you can't really protect them.
I'm looking up the standings here because our poll question today, and don't put up the results, guys. I'll get to it later. Canada's game of the week is led by Winnipeg at BC, but closely behind them, Saskatchewan. Calgary Stampeders 2-5. I would love your read on the Calgary Stampeders in last place. That cannot be going over well in the foothills, Nick.
Well, Rod, to be completely honest with you, one of the things I've known since 2008, we knew one thing. The Calgary Stampeders are going to be the best coached team, and they were going to be prepared. Right now, you look at them. Dave is still a great coach. You have other people in place there. They lost some coaches. They're missing coaches. Josh Bell coming off the heels of Khalil Carter and other great coaches in the secondary. And these same DBs that were playing great football 2 years ago that were all-stars. I mean, Calgary had two all-stars in their secondary every year. Now, I look at Amos like he's one of my favorite guys in the league. He's exciting. He's long. He can run. He can do everything. And we start the year off, and he's getting beat every week. And so all that is technique. And you need people that can teach technique, that can stay on these guys to make sure they're preparing the way they need to prepare day in and day out. So some of these games just come down to it. I mean, really, they shouldn't have beat Montreal. Like, to throw the ball, you have Hep in the back of the end zones, and you get on top of the receiver, and Geno Lewis can come back and catch the ball at the 1 yard line. The ball just doesn't cross. Like, that's just bad preparation. And I haven't seen anything like that in Calgary from a preparation standpoint since 2007, and I was a part of that team. And you can, when you look at teams, you know who's prepared. And you look at Winnipeg. They're just a good football team. They got great coaching, and they're prepared to play each and every week.
All kinds of Rider fans writing in here. Allie Hicks, she's in Edmonton, but she says, congrats, Nik, from these Rider fans to you on your upcoming Hall of Fame induction. From Wayne in Victoria, BC. Nik, I used to hate you when you and the Stamps would beat my Riders, but now I've forgiven you. Congrats on your Hall of Fame induction. That's like he's been reading my diary, Nik. You and I weren't besties for the longest time, and look at us now.
I know.
It's sort of the Hey, and by the way, next segment we'll talk about New England and Brady going in the Belichick and how that relationship soured. But in the time we have left here in this segment, do you see, because we're halfway through the season, Nik?
Yep.
Somebody flipping on their head, doing a hairpin turn. Is Calgary going to turn it around and come back and go 5-2 in the next half? Is Winnipeg going to fall on their head and go 1-6? Do you see any teams? Because somebody's going to not be what we thought they were. Who do you think is going to have a change in the second half of the season?
Well, I think it's been clear in the West. Right now, you look at Winnipeg's been the best team in the league. Then you got BC and Saskatchewan right there at 2 and 3. The East is still the East, man. If Calgary or Edmonton, I believe Calgary is probably the greater option to be able to win enough games to cross over, if that's the case. But with these games coming down, that Calgary plays Sask 3 times of the next 4 weeks, that's huge for Calgary. If they win those 3 games, they're now back in the driver's seat, and now Sask is the crossover team, right? Or anything like that. So with the teams not traveling across too much, and now a bunch of these teams are going to play each other multiple times, it's going to shake itself out. It's going to be exciting football. I think that we are in a great position as fans to be able to watch it, and I'm never going to count my Calgary Stampeders out. I know Dave and Huff, they do way too much, and I know Bo's gotten off to a horrible start, but I have faith in Bo to go out there and be the Bo that he's been, and it's time to bring back that flair. I haven't seen that flair from Bo this year, that fire in his eyes that he usually has. You know, it's almost like people said he was cocky and doing all this other stuff, and he kind of changed a little bit. Go, Bo, let's go be cocky. Let's go win games, and let people hate you for winning games.
Love it. I couldn't agree more. You be you. He needs to get back to being him. Says, how many first-year CFL players have replaced retired players this year? Does that affect the quality of play as new guys learn the CFL game? How would you answer that question?
Of course, it's always going to be difficult to lose someone like a Brandon Smith in the secondary. Raheem steps over Wilson, but he played field corner in 2019. Huge difference playing field corner to going to boundary halfback. Guarding pretty much the best receiver on most teams is going to play in that position. So when you go from being out there on the edge and you don't have to really guard people, you can play off and make plays on the ball, to now going against the best guys in the league, that makes a huge difference. And missing a guy like Brandon Smith and some of the other veterans that have walked away from the game late, Sask has done better up front than we originally thought, missing out on some of those guys. And it's a huge challenge to bring somebody in that's never played the game before. Receivers a little bit easier because all you do is go run, make plays. But when you talk about defense, O-line, and different things like that. It's tremendously hard to make that up.
We have 2 minutes, Nick. What did the Dallas Cowboys routing of the Philadelphia Eagles 41-21 on Monday Night Football mean for America's team?
Ooh, we back. No, I really think that I look at Dak. Dak is playing better, and I've been very hard on Dak. Dak is playing his best football. I said before this year, I'm all in on Dak. I'm going to support Dak no matter what. Still makes a couple plays where I'm like, come on, Dak, you got to be better. But for the most part, man, Dak's playing great football. Zeke's running the ball really tough. Pollard is a great changeup. Reminds me of Cornish and Joff back in the day, having that changeup at running back. And those receivers are just playing great.
Hey, in the minute that we have left, Belichick, Brady, Sunday night. It's a divorce. They're probably never going to get along. What do you think is going to happen at Gillette Stadium Sunday night in prime time?
I think Brady's going to go out there and execute like Brady's done, right? And especially coming off a loss. If they were 3-0, it wouldn't be as bad, but they're not. And they just came off a loss where they got beat down. Expect Brady to be at his best.
Yeah, well, like they say, they say he wants to put a 50-burger rep in there. Nick, we got 30 seconds. Tell them about AO Sports. What you got going on? You ready to rock yet?
Yeah, the platform just got done being built. We're now going into it. Hopefully in the next week, we're going to have it out there so you can come there. And I want to invite everybody to our island, Verbella Island, MTG Island. Clark's going to put up the link. Come holler at me there right now.
Hey, everybody. Thanks for watching the RP Show on YouTube. And don't forget, we're live daily on YouTube from noon to 2 Eastern. If you like what you see, hit subscribe. And if you like the program, check around for other segments of The Rod Pedersen Show here on YouTube.